Hey guys, it's been a minute since I've done a review, but here I am. I'm back. I'm here to catch up on some reviews, and today we're going to start with Dune. The Atreides family is given the honor of ruling one of the most valuable planets in the galaxy, Arrakis, also known as Dune. This planet provides one of the most valuable substances in the galaxy called spice. However, there is a plot at play that finds the Atreides family in the sights of another great house of the universe. Paul Atreides is the heir to his father's throne, and it is through his eyes we see much of what takes place. With visions of things to come making him question his destiny, will he answer the call? Look, there's a lot of stuff here to talk about, and I want to start with the obvious, which is the direction and the scale, the scope that director Denis Villeneuve brings to this film. We all know Denis Villeneuve directed great films such as Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, he also did Sicario and Prisoners, and this dude just knows how to direct. He might be one of the best, if not the best director in the business right now, and this film is absolutely stunningly made from top to bottom. It's just, there's so much here to enjoy. I saw it in IMAX, and to be honest with you, I don't think I could sit and watch it on HBO Max or on a Blu-ray, let alone, because this film is just so massive. There's so much to this film. It's so big, it's so bold, and it's dense. I think a lot of people could be intimidated by this, but they shouldn't be. I'm surprised at how many people actually ended up enjoying this, because it's not the most action-heavy movie. It's actually, a little more, I don't want to say slow, but it does take its time to get to things, and it lets a lot of things develop. It's really a fine cast that was put together as well. You have Timothee Chalamet, who plays Paul Atreides, and he does a great job carrying this movie. I wasn't sure. I'm not too familiar with a lot of Chalamet's work. I've seen him in a few things, but, this kid brought it. He really anchored everything, and you felt the weight of all these issues going on his shoulders. Then you also have Rebecca Ferguson, who plays his mom, and she does phenomenal as well. She's probably one of my favorite highlights of the movie. But you also got the rest of a stellar cast. You get like Oscar Isaac, you got Josh Brolin in there, you got Stellan Skarsgård, Dave Bautista, Zendaya, David Dastmalchian, Javier Bardem, and then probably my favorite actor of the bunch in this cast, Jason Momoa, Aquaman himself, who plays a character called Duncan Idaho in this. It's one of the coolest Jason Momoa characters. He looks like he's having a lot of fun with it, and he really brings a level of acting that, I don't think he acts terrible in Aquaman. I don't think his acting's bad, but there's just something about him in this role that I especially dug, and I think director Denis Villeneuve got a lot out of this cast. I mean, already great actors, but pulled so much more out of them than I thought possible. Some other things I really want to note here is the special effects. We talk about the scale and everything, but the special effects blend near seamlessly with the world they're building. And I really found myself just like at times like not being able to tell what's CG, what wasn't. There's some stuff, obviously. I mean, come on, the human mind can perceive certain things, but there were times where I was like, I don't know if that was a set. I don't know if that was a a special effect or what, but that's the mark of great filmmaking, is not being able to tell the difference sometimes, and you get immersed in that world, and that's how I felt. But on the other side of the coin is, as much as I enjoyed it, I could see where people wouldn't. Like I said, this film is dense. There's a lot going on. It's a lot of Game of Thrones-esque high sci-fi drama. It's really not for everybody, and I'll admit that right off the bat. I was surprised. I went to the movie with my brother-in-law, who I wasn't sure whether or not he'd enjoy it, but he came out actually enjoying it and wanting to see another one. And I think that's a testament to the filmmaking and everything with this, that it can take such dense material from the original book and just make it understandable. Everything was pretty easy to follow for the most part. I thought a lot of the lore, maybe you'd have to go check your notes and whatnot, but I think that it does its job. Now, to the question of would I recommend this, I definitely would recommend this. You got to see this on the biggest screen possible. Like I mentioned, you should go see this in IMAX. It's so gorgeous. I can't tell you, how much I just would stare at the screen and just look at all the different, because obviously IMAX is huge, and where I'm at, we don't have the like true IMAX size, but it's still a really big IMAX screen I'm at, and there's just so much there to just soak in and immerse yourself with that there's no other way to see it. I mean, I still think the storytelling is good enough. You know, if you see it on HBO Max, if you see it on Blu-ray or 4K when it comes out, streaming, wherever, that, you know, you'll still enjoy it. But there's this, I think you're going to be missing something unless you see this in IMAX. And, you know, it probably won't be in theaters much longer. So get out there and go check it out while you can. For me, the grade I'm going to give this is an A-. It's simple as that. It's one of the best films I've seen this year. It's one of the best made films this year, I think, from a technical aspect. And while I've read the original book, I think this nails so much of that original book that would almost feel unfilmable. That you sit there and you read this on the page and like, I don't see how they could translate this to the screen. And sure, there's that original movie a few years back in the 80s, but they just did everything with this. They saw what worked and didn't work with that last Dune interpretation from the 80s and really knocked this one out of the park. Not a perfect movie. Like, I think there are some pacing issues. There's definitely some times where there were some confusing bits that weren't really explained, and you know, it ends. This isn't really a spoiler, but they've announced that there's a sequel coming. So, you know, there's a lot left to dive into in a second part that'll complete this story, because this does kind of end off just kind of, you know, at a point. It doesn't really resolve any of the issues we were seeing. It is a halfway point, essentially, to this story. So we have a second half of the story to get to, and until you see that, maybe the second one will either enhance or hinder how I felt about the first part. But, I mean, as it stands on its own, it's fantastic, and I would recommend you guys go out and see it. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz if you enjoyed. I got quite a few more of these things to knock out there, so hopefully we'll be getting to those and starting to get back up to current reviews, because I know there's a lot of stuff coming I want to get to and that I'm looking very, very much forward to getting to. So until next time, guys, I'll be seeing you.